difficulties.
Okay. Hi, we're live on Facebook now. So good afternoon to everybody. Today is August 9th, 2020. We're moving along. Classes will start this week for some of us. I know that our son is going to have his classes start on Wednesday. Now, why it's the middle of the week, we don't know. But welcome to all the parents and the husbands, the wives, single dads, single moms, grandmas, grandpas. Thank you for joining us today. This is 7 with Chad Marvie.
Yes. Magandang hapon sa mga Pilipino. We have quite a few Filipinos with us today, right? Welcome, Marife. It's first time to be on Zoom with us. And Leia's friend Jam, welcome. So we're continuing our theme for the month of August, which is seafoods, right? And we're excited to share with you, like I said last Sunday, this particular dish, it keeps coming up in our most recent conversations about food, the seafood paella. In fact, we actually already he taught the recipe to a couple of our friends already, okay, in the last month. So
so to give a little background, obviously paella came from Spain, and it's traditionally prepared in a very flat pan, right? Manipis. It's really thin so that it heats up pretty fast and you can prepare it. Typically, you only prepare small portions so that you serve it hot to your customers or your family. Now, just hold the thought, okay?
We're having some feedback. I'm going to tell my son from here, without going to our administrator office, to please turn off his microphone because then there's a feedback.
That's right. Okay, so paella, as I said, is from Spain, but the Filipinos have their own version, which they call Valenciana. So Valenciana is typically from Negros Occidental. It's made with sticky rice, okay, and there's coconut milk in it. There's no tomato in it. So what we did was, so that we can show it to you guys with only 7 ingredients or less, we're gonna kind of marry the two, but we simplified it, but this is leaning more on the paella side because we will be using tomato sauce and broth
as a base, right?
Okay, we won't be using any coconut milk at all.
Okay.
And also we cut down on the ingredients, but as you cook along and as you learn this recipe and do it another day, feel free to add in as much as you can. You can add green peas, you can add red bell peppers or green bell peppers. Feel free to just experiment. Some people add sausage, right, or chorizo. Some add chicken, so they saute the chicken first early on. So feel free to garnish it and flavor it the way that you want to. But today we will teach you the very basic.
As always, recipe. The simplified version. Okay.
7 ingredients. Yeah.
So honey, let me cut you because these are very long things to do. We're going to technically do 3 different things. We're going to bake a cake, make a paella, and then do our frosting, our chocolate cake frosting from scratch. So as always, like we've been doing recently, we're going to start with our cake, okay? Dessert first, okay? So the people who are trying to bake traditionally, you're going to have to bake your cake in the way that your box tells you to. You know how your cake box makes? However your cake box makes is telling you to bake your cake, you have to proceed and do like that is telling you to do right now, okay? So the first thing is going to be preheat your oven according to the temperature that your cake box mix is telling you to. All right, that's the first. But instead of using oil, what I want you to do to make it a bit of a healthier version is substitute your cooking oil completely with applesauce. Okay, so this is for Amika. And if Jam is baking with us the traditional way, that's what you do. All right?
Got it.
So there you go. And now for the Saladmaster owners, this is what we're going to do. today we're going to bake our cake in our 9-inch skillet. All right, 9-inch skillet, and then we're not going to do this on the traditional way. So the first thing we're going to do is, instead of the applesauce, what are we going to use? Fresh apples. Okay, this is the difference when you're doing this the Saladmaster way. You can really do this completely in a better manner, because even the applesauce, instead of using applesauce, we're going straight to the source, the fresh apples. Okay, so using your salad machine, Tawanda, you start shredding your apple into your bowl, okay, with cone number 1. And I have our 2 eggs. So 1 large apple. If your apple is a little bit smaller, you're gonna probably have to do an apple and a half, all right? Because in the 9-inch skillet, you can only bake half of the cake mix box. That's what I'm doing today, just half of it. All right, ready? So here we go. The first thing we're doing is shredding our apple with our salad machine. So this makes it so easy. Jam and Amika, if you had this machine, you can literally do applesauce from scratch in a jiffy. And it's really, really natural because there's nothing added to it, right?
So again, for those who just joined us, we're doing the Gilda's chocolate cake first because we want to do these 2 dishes within the hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to acknowledge those who are waiting for the paella, like Alex, Nestor, Amy, Rosie, and Celeste, and Uncle Ike.
Oh, is there a lot of people waiting for the paella?
So hi, thanks for joining us. We will show the paella in a few
Yes,
minutes
in a little bit. Sorry, this will
after
be
we
back.
start off the cake. Okay.
All right, so after this, Tawanda, we just grab all the bigger pieces, right? Make sure it doesn't get into our cake. So this is one great way of hiding healthier stuff in your cake. If you have kids who are picky and do not like vegetables necessarily, a lot of times on top of the apple, I actually also shred zucchini, but today we'll just go 1, okay? And then we add 2 eggs because the whole box of cake actually calls for 3 eggs, but because I'm using half a box, I'll just add 2 eggs. So this is gonna be very fast, honey. Those who are cooking paella, don't worry.
Okay. Hi to Daddy and Mommy. I see you. Along
Hi,
with
the
Vincent.
Philippines.
Hi to Mike and Amika. Thanks for cooking along with us.
So watch, I'm even doing my chocolate cake mixes that are left over, okay? So there you go. And then these are all my cake leftovers. Now there's just a little bit of that because it's just half a box supposedly. There you go. So this cake, while Honey's mixing it, I'm gonna make him work. Please mix. In the 9-inch skillet is where we're baking it. Now today, I'm only using the spray so I can show you the cake and release it immediately after it's baked, okay? So I can show you the results. But typically, you don't need a spray or a butter when you bake with this. But you will have to wait about 1.5 hours to 2 hours to cool your cake completely down before you can release it in a clean manner, okay? So that's the only reason I'm using a spray. If you're baking traditionally, you're gonna have to spray your baking dish as well, all right? Because then it's hard to release your cake from a traditional baking pan. Okay, so there you go. I'm just waiting on my hubby.
That's almost done. So just fold in the flour, right? The cake mix. It'll get there, even though
It's so
fresh,
easy.
even though it's fresh.
There you go.
Okay. So
look at this cake mix. We did not use water. We did not use oil. The 2 eggs and a whole large apple is sufficient. Do you see that? And I'm putting it in. It goes into our 9-inch skillet. Okay, so for our friends and family who are not familiar with the way I'm making my cake, this is the Saladmaster way of baking, which is phenomenal. It's I always say it's actually magical. And then we just flatten this a little bit in our skillet, shake it up a little bit. I'm gonna try to make it clean, okay? Using a spatula. There you go. And we bake this on the stove top. We're not even going to use the big oven. Okay? So on my stove top, look, I just got a new single burner induction thing. I'm excited about it. So I don't have to go there. Like it's too far. So you can see it better, okay? So at what temperature are we baking our cake? At medium-low heat, all right? I'm doing that now. So see, I do not even need to wait a longer time for a big oven to preheat to bake my cake. Isn't that cool? And then I have the temperature at 260 degrees, which is like medium-low, okay? So Tawanda, if it's on your stove, if you have a dial between 5 all the way to the low, it's going to be around 3. 3, number 3. Is that Ro with you, T? Is Ro with you? Hi, who's with T?
Yes, Nicole.
We're there again. So there you go, 260 degrees. How long is this going to be for? About 30 minutes, okay? 25 to 30. You know how I know when my cake is done? I just try to touch the lid. If I can keep my fingers there for like 3 seconds, that's like done, most likely. It's that easy, okay? So there you go. My cake is going. Ta-da!
Alright.
And then later, when our cake is done, Amika, when you're done baking your cake and jam, I'm going to show you how we're going to make our chocolate frosting with avocado. Cool? But now, what everyone is waiting for, I'm turning you over to my my hubby.
So we're doing again just the base recipe for paella. Very narrow ingredients. We're only using 7 ingredients. But feel free to add as you desire. And if you do have like saffron, the original recipe uses saffron, okay? But I know that not a lot of you are going out to the groceries. So that's why we substituted it for smoked paprika, which is also Spanish in flavor and can add the red coloring. But if you have saffron, go ahead and use that as well. Preheat your EOCs to 375. 375 if you're using your electric skillet. Now, if you're using the stovetop, just go to medium, okay? So preheat your pan, okay, with add a little bit of oil, maybe a tablespoon of oil, just so that you could saute your garlic and onions at medium. So if you're using a stovetop, again, medium heat, and then once the oil is warm, then go ahead and saute your garlic and onions. Now, since I'm using my electric skillet, I'm able to do away with the oil, but I will need the moisture from my onions. So I'm gonna start with my medium onion diced up, or half a large onion.
Mikael? Spotlight.
Okay, so as always, you've seen me do this a couple of times. I am going to actually cover it up and leave it for about 1.5 minutes, just so that the moisture can come out. And then that will serve as the base, basically my oil, right? The moisture from the onions will be my oil, then I'll add in my garlic. Okay, so again, for our garlic, we're using 4 cloves or 2 tablespoons. Now, some recipes do not really call for fresh garlic, right? If you're trying to, because it's gonna be mixed in with so many other flavors. Last week we used fresh garlic. Today I'm actually using the pre-minced garlic that you could buy from a grocery store. Only because I know that with so many flavors with the paella, nobody's gonna notice. I'm not gonna notice if I use fresh garlic or not. So,
Usually he's particular.
so I'm very particular about garlic, but I'm gonna save time. I use minced garlic. Okay. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but it's already developing a little bit of a moisture. I'm gonna cover it back. I want it to be a little bit translucent. Okay. So yeah, by the way, the ingredients. So what are the base ingredients for paella? Oh, if you just joined us, the recipe that we put online said 2 cups of rice. We're actually only using 1 cup. of
Only
rice,
1 cup. My
okay?
bad. Sorry, it was my mistake again.
Make sure you cut your rice into only 1. Go ahead and wash it and rinse it rather. I am using sticky rice.
Sweet rice.
You could use jasmine rice. You could use a combination. You could do round rice. It really doesn't matter. So I'm
Yes.
using sticky rice. I have my my stock. Okay. I know we said fish broth. It's really hard to order fish broth online.
We said fish or chicken.
Yeah, it's hard to do fish broth online because the shoppers don't really know where to look for it. So we're using chicken stock. And then I have my smoked paprika. I'm gonna show you my saffron. They're threads, they're red threads.
Adding some
We did not add this in the list, but this is optional. I have my tomato sauce. I'm gonna use half a can, and
parsley.
my optional things that I listed: parsley and lemon. These are just for presentation, basically. All right, let's look at our onions. Looks like this is good to go now. See, there's already oil at the base. I'm going
A
to
little bit
add
of moist. Yeah.
my garlic.
So this is one big difference. With your Saladmaster, you don't need oil at all. Okay? We do away with the oil.
If you're cooking stovetop, go ahead, saute your, as usual, just start with your garlic and then your onions. Saute it, it's nothing new. Okay, we're gonna saute this until our garlic is golden brown, okay?
Hi, Mom Busy. If you're there, Mom Busy is one of our most loyal participants here. Hello.
Okay, so again, if you're traditionally cooking, it's fine. Just we'll wait for you. Just use your stovetop at medium heat, saute your onions and your garlic.
Yes.
If you're a Saladmaster owner and you're worried that it's not at 375, that's fine. You can still saute your onions and your garlic. It will eventually reach 375. We'll know because we won't add the rice until the broth is boiling later on. Okay, so you should be fine.
It smells good in here.
All right.
Okay, that's golden brown. I think it's golden
Yep,
brown
it's
there.
golden brown now. Now I am going to add my broth. Okay, so we did say 2.5 cups of broth,
Broth.
right?
2.5 cups.
Okay.
There. I'm the assistant this time. So between myself and Chad, my hubby, he's the expert when it comes to anything paella or Valenciana. In fact, he is the expert when it comes to any recipe that's a little bit more complicated. He can do it better than I can. Look at that. 2.5. There you go.
Okay. So remember, this is meant to be a simple cooking show. Traditionally, they would boil the broth separately in a pot. We are not doing that today. We're using only 1 pot for everything. It will still work, okay? So what you do is you cover this now and wait until it comes to boiling point, okay? So I'll cover this again at 375. If you're using the traditional stovetop, just wait until the broth is boiling. So has come to a rolling boil, okay?
Right. So is everybody okay? Is able to follow along? Give us a thumbs up. We can see you on the screen. Amika, you're good. Okay. Jam, you're good. I cannot see Jam. John, are you good? I can't see John as well. Okay, you're good, Jam. You're able to follow along. Okay. Maripel, are you going to show your face, your beautiful face? No, not today. All right. So we're just waiting on the broth to boil. That's the matter if it gave us a thumbs up. So welcome to everybody who's joining us.
So
Wanna say hi?
the next step is actually to add your salt and pepper, and then your tomato sauce, and your paprika. But you can do that now if you want to, but I'm gonna wait until it's boiling.
Okay, so we're gonna need some salt.
Yes. So let's see. A few more people have joined us. I want to say hi to Araceli and
Hi,
Ruel.
Sal.
Hi to Shello. Hi, Shello. How are
From
you?
Cambodia.
No, this is Shello from,
Oh,
I
another
think she
shallow.
works in the Senate of the Philippines.
Sorry.
Hi
Another
to
Shello.
Hazel, Avila, Mami Lita, Eleanor Francia, Precious Manika, Mavic Carabeo, and Eileen Munda. Thanks for joining us today. All right, I
Hello,
think
everyone.
my broth is now boiling. Yes. it
Yes. Okay.
Hi.
boiling broth.
Question.
is. Yes.
So three ingredients pa lang tayo, no? Right? Onion,
Yeah.
garlic, and broth. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Onion, garlic, and broth. And then I'm going to add now my tomato sauce. Okay. Half a can.
So half a can of tomato sauce going in this time, Jam. Amika. Okay, so this is
Paprika.
the fourth ingredient. Yep. Half a can, or that's usually a cup of tomato sauce. Because typical is 16 ounces. Your typical
Yeah.
tomato sauce can is 16
Yeah,
ounces.
my can is 15 ounces. So I added my tomato sauce. I'm going to
So 1
add
cup.
salt and pepper to taste. So I'm just going to do a dash of salt. Okay. And then for my pepper, maybe about 1/4 teaspoon. Tapos we're just gonna wait, okay? We're just gonna wait until it comes back to a boil.
Not too much, honey. It's gonna be too hot.
Okay.
I don't like a lot of pepper. I'm like, oh, there's a lot. Wait, I might not be able to eat it.
All right, and let's add in our paprika, okay? Again, we're using smoked paprika, and we said 1 teaspoon. Is that what we said?
1 tablespoon, I think.
We said 1 tablespoon. That's right. Okay, 1 tablespoon of paprika.
Okay.
I have my tablespoon there. So the paprika is going to add the flavor, the Spanish flavor, and the color, right? But if you do have some saffron threads, go ahead and add maybe just a pinch. Okay, I'm gonna add just a pinch.
In lieu of the saffron, I want to tell you, you can actually add turmeric. If you have turmeric powder, I would strongly suggest add some turmeric powder because that has so many health benefits, right? So Jam, if you have some turmeric, you can add like up to a tablespoonful of it, depending on how
No,
much you
just
can
use a
tolerate.
teaspoon. Just use a teaspoon.
Okay, teaspoon. He said teaspoon to be conservative.
Okay, I'm closing it so that it will boil faster.
So
Okay.
the paprika is not there yet, right?
No, I did. I added. So I
you
added
did.
my
So
tomato
you-
sauce, salt and pepper, saka paprika. I
Okay.
did.
Okay, let's wait on Jam a little bit. Okay, we're a little bit ahead. So let's make sure everybody's on the same page. So at this point, we've already added in the broth, the tomato sauce, the paprika. If you have saffron, add that in. If you have turmeric, add about a teaspoon of turmeric. And then he also added salt, a pinch of salt, and some black pepper, ground pepper.
Yeah. So far, for those of you who just joined, no, what we did was we sauteed our garlic and onions. We added our chicken broth, brought it to a boil. Then we added the tomato sauce, paprika, salt, and pepper. Yeah.
To this point,
And that's it. And then we're just waiting for it to come to another rolling boil before we add the rice. Now, the only rule for paella is that you don't mix the rice as soon as you have leveled it out. So when this comes to a boil, I'm gonna add in my only one, okay, 1 cup of rice. The reason why there's a lot of liquid is because we're adding a lot of seafood as well. So anyway, the 1 cup of rice, right? We're gonna just even that out at the base.
Right.
When that's evened out, you're supposed to just leave it, okay? We're
Don't
not
touch
supposed
it.
to touch
You're
it.
not supposed to mix it, okay? So let us all tell you now, when we try to mix in the rice, this is the one step in this whole thing that you have to be careful in following as is. You're not going to mix it in. You're simply going to even it out and level it. So you have to watch Chad do that, okay? First, before you start.
Okay, so
doing it.
if you can switch the camera, you'll see that it's come to a rolling boil now. And I am going to add my rice.
But here's the rice and the way he's gonna do it.
No, it's nothing special, but I'm just gonna make sure that it's even at the bottom. Okay, so you could kind of feel it, right? If it's like, if there are lumps, just make sure that the entire base is covered with rice, because you want your rice to cook evenly.
So I wonder why you can't mix it, right? Because it seems like the better way of making sure it's leveled is if you mix it. Interesting.
Yeah, okay, so I am going to cover this again. And once it comes to a boil, you're going to lower it to a high simmer, okay? Just like you're cooking your regular rice. So let's do that, okay? So I'm gonna leave this covered. If you're cooking on the stove top, leave it covered, okay? Don't worry about burning the rice. That actually adds to the flavor of your paella.
The bottom.
Yes. So
You burn
leave
the
it,
bottom.
let it boil for a little bit. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get our seafood and let's prep it. Let's garnish it with salt and pepper.
Oh, we're going to the seafood now? Okay.
Okay, so we said 3 cups of seafood. If you're just using shrimp, that's fine. What we're doing is we bought a bag that has a combination of mussels, squid, scallops, and shrimp.
That's what we have in the invite.
But we're still using like 3 cups anyway. So I already like thawed it here.
So that's what I actually put on the invite, right? It's a seafood medley. So it's more than just shrimp.
Yeah, so I have it here. I have it in a Ziploc because the bag was good for about 2.5 servings.
It's a big bag from Costco.
Wait. I don't want to actually bring in the moisture, so I'm just gonna handpick the seafood. So hopefully you already cleaned your mussels. If not, if you see that it's dirty, make sure that you scrub off those things that stick to the shell, okay?
A lot of these are.
Well, we have time though, so if you have to scrub it, that's fine. I might actually have to clean this up a little bit. And I'll have Marvie talk in the meantime. So,
Are you gonna scrub it a little bit? I think they're fine.
yeah, I think I'm gonna scrub it a little bit because I see some pieces of hair and I want to remove it. So I'm gonna come back, okay? I'll just be here in my sink.
In the sink. He's going to the sink. Okay, so if your seafood ingredient is good to go, what I'm gonna have to tell you now is I also need you to crank out and bring out your blender. Okay, we're going to use a blender for the chocolate frosting made with avocado. Cool. So I want to give a shout out and give credit to one of my favorite vloggers. Her page, her site is called Chocolate Covered Katie. She's a vlogger that's in Texas, and I love everything that she makes because it's everything chocolate. If you don't know me, I like everything chocolate. So the avocado frosting that we're making today is courtesy of Chocolate Covered Katie, okay? Credit to her. So bring out your blender for our frosting.
Question, Marvin.
What?
Did the EOC change for the time and how long are we cooking the rice?
The temperature is still at 375. We haven't used the timer yet. It's at a steady 375. We haven't lowered it and we haven't used the timer yet. So we're still trying to boil it with the rice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See, that's the beauty of cooking along. You can ask us immediately if there's something that's not clear. You know, sometimes with video recipes, you can't do that. There's still something that you don't understand. You can't ask. Real time.
Okay, so I'm going to lower it. That's a good question, Wanda, because now I'm going to lower it now. So I allowed it to boil for about 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to lower it now to 225.
So it's the typical cooking of your rice. You allow it to do rapid boil, and then you lower the temperature because then you're going to simmer it to cook it through. So
Okay.
now it's at 225.
So if you're using a stove top, that means it's a simmer. Okay. Now I cleaned my mussels. That's good. See, the shells are shiny.
better.
They're shiny now.
He scrubbed it.
Okay. Now I'm going to get the rest of my seafood, my shrimp, scallop, and squid, and
This
I'm
is
just
so
gonna
good.
garnish it with salt and pepper. It's very simple.
Just like that. When he said ganun lang, that's what he meant. For our friends who are non-Filipinos. So very simple, garnish it again, or rather season it with some more salt and pepper. Okay?
Okay. And I'm gonna just pat it dry a little bit. You see, when I defrosted it, obviously a lot of the ice got
It's
out
a
of
bit
the
watery.
and there was some moisture there.
So you might want to do this to your seafood as well if it's a bit watery, okay? You want to make sure it's somehow dry before you season it.
Okay. All right, guys, we're at the seasoning stage. So just, just, what do you call this? What do you call this? Grind. You grind your pepper. What is this step called?
What do you call this? You grind the pepper.
Grind your pepper and then add your salt. We're using our, typically we use our Himalayan salt, but table salt is fine.
It's the same, honey. It's Himalayan.
Yeah, this is Himalayan.
Yeah, in another.
But you could use, what I'm saying is that you could use like your sea salt.
Oh,
Or
it doesn't matter what kind. Okay.
Okay, so I know it's only seasoned on one side, but that's fine because I'm gonna put it in with the seasoned side under.
Down.
Okay, yeah, face down. Okay, so yeah, I'm just
Should we
gonna.
time it?
Okay, so now let's go ahead and put our timer on. Okay, so at this point we will only really need about, let's see, we will only really need about 18 minutes. So let's go ahead and set our timer. 18 minutes. Okay, and then later on when it's like maybe after 2 more minutes, I'm going to add my seafood. But for now, we're gonna go back to our cake. Is there anything else we need to do with this or no? Not really.
No. Does anybody have any question with regards to the paella? No questions? Okay. And then is everybody's cake still baking? Yeah, your chocolate cake's baking. Let me get an idea how much on your time you have left for your cake that's being baked. John, how much more time do you have left on your cake?
Well, we have 8 more minutes.
8 more minutes for John.
Mhm.
And for Jam, are you baking the cake? How many more minutes do you have left? Amika?
It's about the same.
8? Okay, perfect. We're all like somehow in sync. Perfect. Okay.
A few more people have joined us. So I just want to say a shout out to I think we said hi to Mavic, right? But there's Eileen Munda, Leila Nadal from we know her from Manila days. She's a nurse. Hi, thanks for joining us. Rebecca Obara. So I guess you're new to our show. Thank you for joining us. I'm not sure if he's still on, but Bo, hey dude, if you're still on,
Bo Pontai
hi.
from Hong Kong.
You're the reason why we're all the way here on the other side of the
I know,
world.
Bo. You're the reason why. You're the
But
culprit.
I still work for private equity, but I do this on Sunday afternoons now with my wife.
Yes, he's
um,
helping me.
I want to say hi to Cherry Allegro. Hi
Hi,
to,
Chat.
to Larry Lee from Dumaguete, Michael Tillman, Reneth Cornelia, Donald Gay, Bang Samson, Jackie Monterola. A lot of new people today. Super excited to have you join us.
You know, right? So many people love paella. You know, I have always been intimidated with paella because I always feel like it's too laborious. I will not even touch that. So I'm so grateful that he found a way to simplify this. Okay, shout out to my honey.
Okay, so are you doing
Okay, perfect. So now, because we have 8 minutes in the cake, we want to make an announcement before I go to the icing, okay, the frosting. Next week is going to be a very special edition of 7 with Chad Marvie. Why?
Because we have a guest chef whose expertise is in grilling. Okay, so we have invited actually they own the business for Saladmaster here
That we are a
in
part of,
Allen,
yes.
Texas, and his name is Roel Balais.
Mhm.
Okay, he's also a nurse by profession,
Mhm.
but he is going to teach us how to grill perfectly a lobster, or like lobsters if you want more than one. But we're gonna be grilling lobsters and prawns. Okay.
Next Sunday.
So next Sunday it's gonna be the grill that we're using.
Mhm.
Grilled lobster and prawns, and the person cooking for us will be Roel Balais. So thank you, Roel, for
Yay.
saying yes. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, so that's really exciting, okay? So that's this coming Sunday, continuing the seafood theme for the month of August. And then the week after that, on the 23rd, drum rolls, I'm excited for this one. You have to come join us, okay? On the 23rd, it's a very special edition because we're doing our class in a tiny house, in a tiny home. Why? Why are we going to the tiny house?
Okay, well, it is our 19th wedding anniversary. So we're taking a trip, okay, somewhere here in Texas. We rented out a tiny house,
Mhm.
and what we decided to do is while we're there, whatever we cook, we're just gonna go live on Facebook as well. So you'll actually get to see us, cook our meals, because it's just like a time for us to be on our own. But it doesn't take much. All we have to do is put on an iPhone, really, and cook our food, right? And you can see how we prepare our normal everyday meals. So hopefully that will be something that will be interesting to some of you, and you can learn just how do you prepare really quick meals every single day, right?
Not only that, honey, because I always say that this E-asy can actually replace half of your kitchen. In a tiny house, you know what they use for those tiny homes? The container stuff.
It's a cargo container.
Yeah, that one. They turn that into a house. Can you imagine how small that is? And how much kitchen can you fit in there? But that's the whole point. We're bringing the E-asy to that place because your E-asy can be your whole kitchen if you have another single burner like this. So I'm excited. We're excited to show you that on the 23rd. But anyway, okay, moving on. While we're continually waiting for our cake, dun, 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 it's time for our frosting. So did you guys get your blender? All right. So we're doing this straight again into the blender. If you've seen me do our favorite recipe for crepes, that's what I do, straight into the blender. We're doing the same thing today. Okay, let's grab our blender pitcher. And what do we need for this icing? 2 ripe avocados. This is enough for a big cake, okay? Enough if you have baked the whole box of your cake mix. I only did half of my box mix, rather. But I'm doing the full-blown recipe of the chocolate frosting. You know why? I love it as it is. It's like chocolate pudding, but it's healthier, made with avocado. So what do we need? 2 ripe avocados, your pure grade maple syrup, okay, your vanilla, and whatever powdered chocolate baking powder you have. Okay? Chocolate powder, cocoa powder. Ready? So the first thing that's gonna go in there, honey, will be our avocado. Can you help me?
What do you want?
We're gonna have to scoop it up. So I'm just gonna do this real time with you all. So let's grab our avocados. You need to use really ripe avocados for this, okay? Somehow that's really already soft. This is not gonna work if your avocado is half ripe. No, won't do. There we go. So we're scooping our avocado in there. Because my avocado is not that big, I'm gonna add one more avocado, okay? I'm gonna grab one more because it's not that big.
Okay, so in
My
the,
avocados are on more on the medium side, and the invite recipe wise actually called for 2 large avocados.
okay, I
So
got
I'm
it.
using 3 mediums.
Is it okay if I put in my seafood now?
Yes.
So we're gonna transition a bit. If you're cooking your paella, I hope
We'll
you.
go back to the paella first.
We're gonna
Sorry.
drop in our seafood now. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna show you what mine looks like at this point. So Mikael, if you could shift to this one. All right. You'll see it's halfway there, right? Now this is the perfect time to add in your mussels and just arrange it.
You can be artistic and creative in the way you put this thing down. Okay? It's time to put in our seafood. Jam, John, are you good?
Yeah, I'm putting down my muscles right now.
Okay, perfect. In sync. Okay, Tawanda, you're good too?
Then we're gonna put the shrimp face down, the seasoned part face down. And I also have like some squid here
And
and
scallops.
some scallops.
This is going to be so good, you all. Look at that. Hey, I want to remind everybody, please, while you're enjoying your dinner, once this is plated in your homes, please send us some photos, okay? We would love to see your photos. Enjoying the dishes that you've cooked with us.
Okay, I think
There you go. We have a lot, which is awesome.
several lots. So I'm just gonna drop them. I'm gonna try to fit them.
So this is more like your seafood paella with a little bit of rice. Yum. You can never have too much of that.
Okay.
You see how pretty?
Then let's go ahead and cover it. My timer says 8 minutes. Let's go ahead and bring it back up to temperature twice. From 225, I'm going to bring it back up to 325. Okay.
So for Amika and for Jam, that means you bringing your temperature up the traditional manner to what?
So in between low and medium. So it's a medium.
Medium low.
Not a simmer anymore. You're gonna have to bring it up so that we can allow our seafood to cook. Seafood doesn't take that long to cook. We have about 8 more minutes left, so that's just enough. And then we're gonna mix everything up, and then we're gonna garnish it with our parsley and our lemon wedges. Okay. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So now, what we're gonna have to add to our avocado will be the half pound. We're now on our chocolate frosting, okay, in your blender pitcher. Add to the avocado half a cup of your cocoa powder. Whole half cup. Oops, Let's make it level. Don't overdo your chocolate powder unless you want it really dark, okay? Which most people I know don't. So this is my half cup of cocoa powder going in on top of the avocado. Make sure it's on top of the avocado, okay? And then you will need 1/2 cup of your agave. Now I need to tell you, this is not going to be as sweet as most people would like it, but start with 1/2 cup. And I will suggest just continue adding a little bit more later after you taste your frosting. If you want it to be a little bit sweeter, then just add a little bit more of your maple syrup or stevia if you don't want it to be so much of calories, okay? There you go. That's the third ingredient. And here's the fourth. Grab your measuring spoon. You need a teaspoonful of vanilla. There you go. Now, because everybody has salt at home, this is not in your ingredient list, but you may actually grab your salt and add a pinch of it. Why am I adding a pinch of salt to this? Because that actually brings out the sweetness more. So instead of adding more maple syrup or stevia, I add salt, just a pinch of it. All right? And then we are going to pour this. So if what you have at home is a processor, a food processor, that's also going to work. I need to have enough space. Can I put this there? Just plug it in. See. So how long do we blend this for? Until it's really creamy, okay? So this will depend on the unit that you have. Okay, PG Saladmaster. I would love for Saladmaster to come up with something like this, if it's at all possible. Because we become Saladmaster addicts anyway. So ready? Is everybody doing this with me? I'm gonna blend it until it's creamy. It's kind of loud, huh?
So you didn't put egg, right?
I'm gonna take pauses because you have some of your powder on the side, your avocado. Grab a spatula or spoon. Try to get it on the side, okay? We are just gonna help it a little bit. If you have a food processor actually can do this faster, or if you have a high-powered machine like a Vitamix. Somebody's phone.
Oh yeah, if somebody's speaker is on, kindly mute it. Thank you.
There you go, and we're gonna give it another whirl.
So
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah. Go ahead. If you have a question,
go ahead, Jam.
please unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself, Jam.
the only liquid you put is the syrup, right?
Yes, it's the only liquid. You're right.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna give it another whirl, okay? So John, or Marie, do you remember when we made the vegan Alfredo? John, it's going to be the same concept. We're gonna have to keep blending this until it's really smooth in consistency, okay? I'm gonna help it again. Ooh, it's getting really, really smooth. Do you see that, honey?
Yeah.
Honey, are you excited about this, or are you more like, I don't know about that?
No, every cake is good. any dessert is good.
Yeah, but with avocado, right? Again. Again and again and again.
Okay, so let's shift a little bit to our paella. If you see, Mikael, if you could change the camera. My shrimp is now pink, so therefore it's already cooked, right? But I do want my liquids to dry a little bit. So I am going to crank up my temperature back to a really high temperature. I am going to do 450. Okay,
Oh.
so we'll just do this for about 2 to 3 minutes. Did you plan this? Okay, 2 to 3 minutes. But what I'm gonna do is partially cover it. Okay, just so that I could make my liquids evaporate a little bit.
Okay, that's for the EOC. What will be the people? What will the people do traditionally?
Now, traditionally, just go to medium high, like in between medium and high, but only for 2 minutes. Now, if you're using the EOC, since our timer has only 2 minutes left, I'm going to increase that to 4 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna add 2 more minutes. So EOC fellows, change your timer to 4 so it doesn't turn off. But you can crank it a little bit just so that it continues to boil. Thank you.
All right, so now we're drying up the liquid in our paella, is what we're trying to do.
I have a question.
Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Because my paella doesn't have a liquid anymore, can I put a little bit more because the
Oh, if your paella is already dry, that's
Yeah,
already
it's good.
done. You can mix it now and then cover it and just let it like lift a little bit.
I can mix it.
Yeah, you can mix it now. Halo,
Okay.
halo. Yeah.
All right. You okay?
Yeah.
I'm still blending the. You good? Is anyone's cake done?
My cake is done.
Is anyone's cake done? John, is your cake done?
Yeah, my cake is done. I finished like 2 minutes ago or something.
Okay, perfect. So you've released your cake.
Not yet. Yeah, we're
Now
good.
it's time to release our cake. We have 5 more minutes on the clock. Wow, we're busy. The
Okay.
whole hour is going
Can I-
down, down, down,
Can I
down.
also shift to this?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
I am going to mix my rice now. If it's stuck a little bit to the bottom, that's fine. But go ahead and mix your rice now, and you'll see that it's actually not that wet anymore. I think this is done. And what I'm gonna do is just lower my temperature now back to a simmer.
Yum.
But yeah, I'm done actually. Actually, I'm gonna turn it off now. I'm just gonna turn it off. So my paella is done. All right. Yep, our paella is done. And I'm just gonna leave it unopened.
You see that? Yum. All right, who has released their cake? Whose cake is done? I'm still blending my thing.
I'm gonna go ahead and garnish it with my
Parsley
parsley, and when you serve it, just serve it with your lemon wedges.
on top. There you go.
So that's pretty much our finished dish, and it's ready for serving.
Are you done, Jam? Amika, with your paella?
Yeah, but no more. It doesn't have any liquid at all. It's dry.
Perfect. Okay, we're gonna spotlight all of you. We're gonna do a round. Please let us see your finished paella. Is that okay, Mikael? Are we ready to do a round for our paella at the moment? so we can see it for everyone.
Okay, so let's see who's ready. I can't see everybody, so
Mikel,
Amika,
please spotlight.
Amika is ready. So Mika, let's start with Mike and Amika. There you go.
There's the paella. And
Nice
the
job.
piece of cake. Awesome.
Okay, next, let's go to the Williamses. Oh, this is Ro. This is Ro, or this is, can't see the
Here we
face.
go.
Oh, looks good. Awesome.
Who is with you, T?
That's, I think it's Ro, right?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. Is it Ro?
It looks like Ro.
No,
Oh, no,
it's
it's Chelsea.
Nicole.
It's Nicole?
It's Nicole.
Okay.
Hi. It's Nicole.
Okay, let's move on to John. Is your paella good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, let's move to John, Mikael, and let's show his paella. There you go.
Looks nice.
Awesome. Great job.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoy it. And then let's go to Jam. Are you ready to show your paella?
Okay.
Okay, let's go to Jam, Mikael, the iPhone. It's called iPhone. There you go. It's dry. It's good. It's good.
There you go. Are you excited to have dinner?
Mhm.
There you go.
Did we miss anyone?
No, we did not.
Okay.
Hey, I'm still doing this. Okay, my last whirl for my. This time we're going to do the everyone's cake. Whose cake is done? Whose cake is done? Can somebody show me the cake that they made? Now with your icing, that's all there is to it. Okay? If you didn't see me earlier, I actually added a couple of packets of stevia because I wanted it a little bit sweeter. So for you, you can do the same thing or actually add some more maple syrup. Honey, can you just sit one? It's getting on that thing. It's really hot. Okay. Is anyone's cake done? Can you show me, please? Yeah. Oh, it's 6 o'clock.
It's okay.
Everyone,
We can just show the cake.
this is the final product of our cake. Shows your cake, and this is ours. Ta-da! I just inverted it. Oh, my cake did not finish properly. This is a mess.
No.
My cake isn't done, you all. Show me a cake that's done. I should have done this ahead of time. Next time, I'll show you a cake that's done completely. Now, this is the frosting. At least this one I'll be able to show you. Okay? So blend your frosting as much as you can until you get this consistency. Do you see this? Did I remember I told you earlier it's gonna be like pudding. Do you see this? Who has their icing done? Or frosting done? Amika, do you have yours?
Yes.
Okay, so that's it. And then all you have to do is like evenly apply it on your cake.
Okay.
But me, because you know, my cake did not cook yet. So I will show you in another, I will post a photo of a cake that's done with this frosting, okay? Have you tried this frosting yet, Leia or John? Have you tried it yet?
Not yet. First time. It's good.
Try it and let us know what you think.
Okay. So here's our finished paella dish. Ready for dinner.
Yum.
And then I'm gonna have Marvie try it.
It's always good. This is always good. It's never not good.
Good? Okay. She says it's good, so it must be good. The flavor is just good enough. For me,
It's clams. I didn't know you ate clams.
again, what I used was sticky rice.
Do you like liver?
This is a learning experience. So everybody, I know it's your first time to make paella, or it could be your first time, right? But that's the base. Again, stovetops are different from each other, and the type of rice cooks differently. So, if you feel like the temperatures that we used were a little bit too high for you, adjust it lower, okay?
In the future.
In the future, but I just wanted to show you, we just wanted to show you really that you can make a paella dish within an hour, okay? About 45 minutes, give or take. And you don't have to keep on ordering out, right? Make your own paella, make your own recipe, make it your own, make it your signature dish that your family will remember.
Yeah, okay. So, hey, one more time, real quick round. How do you like the frosting? I want to see the frosting from people, please. Okay, can you show us your frostings? Do you like it, Amika? Does it taste weird, your chocolate frosting? Did you try it?
It tastes really good. Joya likes it too.
Okay, perfect. So, Jam, everybody, this frosting, I will eat this like it's pudding. That's why I made more of it, okay? It is very healthy. And the only thing I want to leave you with is the fact that, hey, when you make this frosting, as much as possible, you do this and consume it on the day of. It's always better fresh because you saw how natural all the ingredients are, okay? So there you go. Friends and family, thank you for joining us. Jam, the Websters, the Williamses, the Batitams. Enjoy your dinner, and once again, please snap a photo, send it to us. Let us know how you're enjoying your dinner.
Hope you enjoy your paella. Have a good night, everyone.
Join us next week again.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. You're welcome.